Public Works Committee meeting for May 5th, 2025. Councilor Wolverton.
Here.
Gear. Sims.
Here.
Is that Harden?
Here. Hey. All right. We got 4. Can I have, I was going to say, worst thing of tomorrow ever. Can we have a
motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Councilor Sims, second by Councilor Harden. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 4-0. We have no old business. We have one item under new business, 370425. Request permission to allow planted trees to remain in the right-of-way at 214 Edgewood Boulevard, brought to us by Cale Smith. Brian, do you have any pictures of this already?
I did.
Some street view, that'd be great.
This is the pink house, and Britton is here to talk about the project. But Britton put together a good diagram.
Yeah.
Well, who's asking for it to be brought up? Is it written on?
No, Mobley, I sent you the owner's name.
Okay.
So what we've had happen is we have planted trees in the right-of-way. When this project was originally permitted, an older set of ordinances were in place where a landscape plan was not required to get the land disturbance permit, so nobody caught this was going to be an issue. And as trees were going in the ground about 2 or 3 weeks ago, building inspector noticed it and informed us and said that we had to get approval. Trees, however, were already offloaded by crane, and trucks had left, crane had left. So we had to get them out of the road, out of the alley, and so we stuck them in the holes that were dug. But we do need retroactive approval to leave them, and if it's not approved, then we have to cut them down because they are all large caliber trees. The two that in this photo are 2 magnolias, a 10-inch and a 12-inch caliper tree, and then there's some more that went down between the road and the new swimming pool that are in. It's screening pool equipment, screening the property. All the trees that have been chosen for that space were chosen to stay out of power lines, to stay out of pool equipment. Everything's tight. We tried to do our due diligence before the ordinance was even in place that had requirements on setbacks from power lines, setbacks from sidewalks. It somehow just missed the fact that there had to be approval to be in the right of way. So,
Well, that part's not been different. I mean, that part was unchanged. You can't plant trees in the right of way to begin with. That's not a new ordinance. Correct? None of that changed. I've driven by the property. I don't know what would have been approved or not approved. I know that we have had several issues like this around the city in the past. I know that we have considered trees that are touching as a fence or barrier that's in violation. When I drove by the property, it looked like it was in violation. There's also not a silt fence. There's other safeguards that are supposed to be in place during construction that seem to be in violation right now. I'm having a hard time personally even considering it, but I'm open to what others are thinking, or the home has been renovated for years and years and years. I don't think that we've had issues in the past with other landscape companies that do business in Homewood reporting that they didn't know what the ordinances were. I just don't, at this point, I mean, being almost a decade in and hearing this over and over and over again, I struggle.
Well, my thoughts are more related aesthetically, because this huge house was built on this corner of this property, on the back corner, and I kind of think that the neighbors would appreciate some green things sort of blocking it in.
It's already got 25 variances, so why not give it another one?
Well,
You did the neighbors block the trees to block it?
Yeah.
Block the view?
I haven't heard that.
It was covered, the property was
She
pretty
said, I
much
think they
covered
might.
with perimeter greenery before they started. You could really barely see in the property. I don't know where the
Yeah,
greenery, if it was in the
I
right
agree.
of way or what, but.
Yeah, I mean,
You really couldn't see what was inside, and when they tore down the structure that was in the back there and built that huge house that they're living in, and, I mean, that would be my preference is not even really related to the ordinance as much as it is just.
Cale, how
related to-
far out of the, or in the right of way are the trees?
They're marked right here on the diagram to the left.
We're talking about this guy, and then this hedge. And we're
Yeah,
calling these
look at that,
trees-
guys. That's
Most
insane.
of them are hedges.
Ugh.
Okay, and why is moving them inside the right of way not being considered?
Because you have a pool that's right
pool.
here.
Okay, but
pool deck.
is the pool new construction?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a planning problem, in my opinion. I mean, you guys know where the right of way is when you're drawing this at. I don't believe that we can be this naive to be in this position right now.
What happened is, when we thought that the landscape drawings were going to go to permitting and get reviewed, the landscape plans never made it before the permitting department by the contractor because he wasn't required to put them in because we met our minimum tree density. And so the plan never made it in front of anybody to catch. And I will say that this project was inherited from one firm to another, and I think some of that translation is where some of this.
But you guys don't use a survey when you
We have
plot
the
trees down
survey.
and decide where they're gonna go? I mean, that's just my take. I mean, I just think it's
it was
sloppy
missed.
not doing due diligence, and it's a whole lot of trees. I mean,
A whole lot of really big trees.
really large caliper trees. I mean, 14, 15 of them right there.
Well, if they come out, I am in
I
a catch
mean-
22 where I have to come back and I'll have to request another variance to have something else planted here to screen the pool equipment that I didn't have any say over. So I know we're all trying to get this done. I know we're trying to get our CO so that we can all get this out of everybody's hair, mine included.
They're already living there. What do you mean a CO?
They're not.
No,
They're not living there?
It's not
Oh, I
living
thought
there.
somebody said they're living in the large house already.
Mhm.
Jennifer maybe, but.
It was missed. I mean,
It's a big miss. This isn't like one person planted a dogwood in the median between the sidewalk and the street. And again, it's in violation, in my opinion, based on what we've talked about in the past, of the fence variance as well, in that these are all touching. I mean, you basically just said, they're there to create a visual barrier in which would be, I mean, we're talking about a violation on multiple fronts, in my opinion, even though it's just one item for the right-of-way issue.
And that's
Right.
front building lot.
Well, I thought we did a fence variance.
there is a fence variance for the
Yeah,
property.
I think we did a
It's a
variance.
wall though, but it's a stone wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not this.
We also did a pool.
No,
Well,
there's
those-
two variances related to the fence on this site. One is that the fence along Roseland can be on the property line, and the second is that this retaining wall could be built back in its pre-existing footprint within the right-of-way.
Within the right-of-way.
Within the right-of-way.
So then we definitely knew where the right-of-way was.
Yeah, I mean, I walk by this every morning, back and forth, and, I mean, I've never seen trees that big being planted. I mean, they're enormous. And it's a lot of trees. I mean, I'm not on the committee, I don't have a vote, but it's a lot of trees that are sitting in the right of way. It's
It's only gonna get worse for sidewalks and roads.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Berkeley and your sidewalk.
yeah, I don't know if Berkeley's looked at the trees that are going right next to the sidewalk.
Don't draw attention to it. Don't draw attention to it.
Yeah, what do you think, Berkeley?
Well, I mean,
Y'all know
yeah,
how-
Berkeley, if you have commentary, go ahead. I was just gonna say
Y'all know
that.
how I feel about that. I mean, the problem's not now, it's 10, 15 years down the road. And I'm nothing against the project, I don't know anything about it, but I I know what I've dealt with over the last 6 months of redoing our sidewalks
Right.
in-house.
Trees in the right of way.
And I mean, Glenn sent me an email, we're dealing with some on Acton.
Right.
And I mean, look, and I love trees, I love them, but they're not meant to be put in a space like that, because the roots are gonna grow. And they're gonna bust the sidewalks, they're gonna bust the concrete, they're gonna bust the curbing, and a lot of them will get out into the asphalt. I mean, that's the only thing that I tell you when we look at that, because it's not right now, it's 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and I'm telling you, they're gonna bust that sidewalk. That's just a common theme for it.
Can you tell us about these trees that are already really big? Are they meant to get double in size? Do you?
They will increase in height, but width-wise, they're about max of what they're supposed to be. We picked all of these cultivars to be very tight. It's Green Mile, Green Shadow, Alta Magnolias. These all stay within 10 to 12 feet width-wise. They were all picked at this size, knowing that they're not going to get much bigger width-wise. The trees that are, we're calling them trees, these are large hollies. 5 to 6 of them are. All maintainable by shearing. They're not going to have canopies that go out. They should all stay tighter than what was there previously. They shouldn't be having wisteria get up over the power line. The idea was that we're putting something back that wasn't a headache for the utility company or for the city to try and keep off the power lines.
Is it gonna have roots that are as bad as like an oak planted it there, or do you have any idea about that?
John Harden.
Generally, the
He
the
left.
hollies
He's
are
gone.
not going to, just because their canopies aren't going to be spreading out. So
Okay.
So the magnolia that's pictured or in the diagram is actually the magnolia that's at elevation up away from the sidewalk?
The picture doesn't show everything that's in there already.
no, this picture was taken and sent to Kale before we got everything else out of the alleyway and out of the road.
Yeah, there's,
This is all planted now.
yeah,
mean,
there's
yeah.
a whole row.
You can't see any.
That you can't see right here.
Yeah. I was, okay. But what's up at the at elevation in front of the house is a magnolia, right?
Yeah, so,
I'm just trying to get it
That was existing.
no, that's a new tree.
Oh, that was a new tree too? Wow, it's a huge tree.
right.
Now, is that a grand flora magnolia?
It's a sweet bay, so
It
it's
is a
not,
sweet
it's
bay,
not gonna
okay.
billow out over the sidewalk.
I mean, I was just trying to figure out as far as if we're looking at sidewalk impact, like the impact of that one, you know, and as far as the
That
rest.
looks like it's retaining wall
Yeah.
at that point, based on the elevation.
I mean, there's. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I could carry it over, but I guess I can just go look at it, before next Monday too, but, you know, we can send it out with a motion and just go out and look, but I have to make a motion in the positive side, motion to approve.
My own, I'm sorry.
Go
You made
ahead.
a motion, I don't want to interrupt the motion in a second.
Okay,
Is that it?
all right, discussion.
My only statement is, you ought to go look at this, because this is different than all the others we've ever considered.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's-
It is very
Well,
different, and I
and-
just want everyone to see it so that they, doesn't, I don't care what you end up doing with it, that's up to y'all. But I do think everyone should go see it, because it is not the average one that we've gotten. We've never had one even close to this.
Right, well.
And I've seen it, that's probably
Yeah.
why I'm.
You know, that was possibly my fault then, because I mean, I definitely don't have the information I need to vote on it. I mean, and these things are meant to be hashed out in committee, unless everybody feels like they can make it by next Monday. We could,
I'm happy to rescind my second.
yeah, I'll just rescind my motion then if that's,
Carry it over.
And carry it over.
Give us time to look at it. I mean, I was gonna go with it because during the discussion, I thought we agreed to the fact that they were gonna still maintain the privacy that was initially there. So, but I have not laid that.
I will tell you that,
Yeah.
I may be wrong, I know you go out and measure.
That was a
but
fence
what was
thing.
there is different than what's there now.
and I'll make a note too, even with rescinding the motion, that, you know, next time we meet will be May 19th, so it'll be committee and council, so everybody please
Oh, that's,
But you could send it out with that recommendation, we could vote
Well-
on it at council too.
Well, we'll still meet the 12th for council, but I'm saying if I carry it over to committee, it'll be council and committee on the 19th.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point.
okay. So we're, without objection, we'll carry it over. That's what I heard. And that's it for
Thank you, guys.
Public Works tonight.